going.
Welcome to Uncommon Sense Podcast.
What? Wait, we're not there yet.
Are we live right now?
We're live.
All right.
Yeah, the green
We're live. We're on the air.
light. Welcome to Uncommon Sense Podcast, where we talk about all the taboo subjects, raw and real, juiciest stories, celebrity gossip, sports news, national, international. It's your girl Lottie. What's going on, y'all?
Another day, another dollar.
What's happening, Lottie?
Welcome to Uncommon Sense Podcast, where we talk about all the taboo subjects, raw and real, juiciest stories. We got an echo. Gossip, sports news, national, international. It's your girl Lottie.
We're going to have to mute that, John. There we go. Oh, that happens when you share it?
Okay. I think we should have the technical part down now.
Work with us, y'all. Work with us.
Yeah, work with us. We'll get this
ain't
down
no
in about 10 more shows.
We're doing this on our own, no supporting cast.
Yeah, we'll get there.
You know what I'm talking about?
Lottie don't off with our heads yet.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yo, can one of y'all inbox me the password to the YouTube so I can monitor that jump? But as y'all seen, we talking about a subject that comes up quite often.
Very often.
That needs some uncommon sense put on it.
Absolutely.
So they can get some real perspective. You know, because it's a lot of sugarcoating, a lot of dancing around it, a lot of simping, may I add.
Wait.
What?
Go ahead, sis.
No, proceed.
Okay. You said wait. So before I was so rudely interrupted. There's a lot of simping going on out here with hey, I guess, but at the same time I want to call it simping, but I can't, I guess, because everybody ain't lions, you know what I'm saying, in the jungle. Some cats is baboons and cheetahs, you know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
So you gotta, but me, I'm a lion out here, and you see one lion with multiple women. You don't see one female lion with 3-4 male lions around her, unless they fighting over her and the losers kick rocks. That's how that go. So obviously y'all know where I stand on the subject. With
clearly.
All that being said, yes. Common sense, uncommon sense approach. At least my version of it.
All right, brother. Well, Lottie, how do you feel about this? You know, you kind of quiet back there. I'm
being respectful. I'm listening.
Okay.
I don't like to cut people off, but I wanted to go to the caller to see what they had to say.
Caller already,
man.
Because the caller was adamant about getting in, so I wanted to hear what they had to say before I give my input.
All right, caller, you are on the air. How are you?
What's going on, brother? Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, brother. I can't complain. Good to hear from you. Who am I speaking to?
This is Robert from Texas.
Robert from Texas. What's going on, brother?
Hey, bud, same bud.
So what you got for us, Robert? You called in before the show even got started. I like to see.
Yeah, yeah. That topic, man, that topic is something that really needs to be discussed in our community.
Right.
So my opinion, because I have no facts, I'm not in a polygamous relationship, but I do believe in its benefits on both sides, actually. As far as polyandry is concerned, uh, there are some women I believe that are so in tune with themselves that they can handle multiple brothers, providing the love and attention that they need. With the polyamory, not poly, I'm sorry, polyandry. No, polyandry is for the women.
Right.
Polygamy.
Polygyny.
Yeah, yeah. Because polyamory, that's just a free for all. You know, that's how I describe it.
Right. Right.
You love who you love who you love. It could be 3, 4, 5, 7 people, you know, in a relationship. But
Right.
but as far as polyamory is concerned, there are quote unquote alpha males who have the physical prowess and attention span or what have you to provide for some women. Some women don't require a lot of attention. They just want to know that there's somebody there for me.
Right. Right.
A lot of people think that it's about the sex, and it's not. Me personally, for me growing up in a single parent household, not having a male figure, it was rough. And, you know, I only had 2 uncles, and they had their own families, and they were in different cities and states, so I didn't have anybody to teach me how to be a man. And my sister didn't have somebody to show her how a woman is to be treated. And
Okay.
so my thing for me, I focus my attention more on single parent, and yeah. So you know, in the future, once I'm more financially stable, because I feel like I'm mentally ready for it, I'm physically ready for it. It's just the financial side of things, and so I'm not even in a monogamous relationship for that reason. And so yeah, like I do what I can within the community, but my not necessarily ultimate goal, but a want of mine is to have a polygamous relationship where I care and provide for single parents and their children.
Respect.
That's very noble, brother. So let me ask you this. Because I heard you mention that you weren't even in a monogamous relationship. Do you feel like this topic is a little premature for most people because they haven't mastered those areas of life that you were speaking on that you haven't mastered yet, and that's the reason why you're not even in a monogamous relationship? Do you feel like that's most
Oh yeah,
people's situation?
yeah. Most brothers, and I was actually gonna make some posts about that. Trying to get a feel of who's in a monogamous relationship and if it's successful, whether it's just boyfriend, girlfriend, or actual marriage. You know, does having a degree and a well-paying job play a role? There are some women who are okay with their husband being a blue-collar worker, making $15, $20 an hour, and you know they're getting by. But for them to take a family trip takes major planning versus the brother who's in the office building making 6 figures, and they can fly out to different states just for the weekend.
So would you could you see yourself being a part of a poly of a relationship where you and another man share a wife?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've thought about it a lot because I actually have a friend of mine who is considering that type of dynamic, and I care for this friend deeply, and we've been knowing each other. But I don't know.
So you
I don't
told him
know.
like
That's just tough.
so you told him like Andre 3000, don't do it, reconsider.
And it's a lot of reconsidering. Like I said, like I care for her deeply, but to be in that type of dynamic takes strong control of your ego. Put it like that.
Yeah, you got to wake up, take a shot of your pride, swallow that for lunch, before, during dinner, when y'all all at the table, and before
You
you
know
go
what?
to bed. And
You
before
gonna
you
make
go to
it.
bed.
You gonna make it sound as awful as possible, Tariq.
Yes, I am. Exactly. Because ain't no
But see,
way.
okay, now
Lose your father.
on the flip side, let's say
Go ahead,
I
brother.
I do end up in that type of dynamic, but before that takes place, we have a conversation of the do's and don'ts of the dynamic. One of the ways that I would consider this type of dynamic is if I'm allowed to have a spouse or a concubine, for lack of a better term, on the outside of the home. That'll be the only way I consider that.
Okay.
I hear you, bro. I could kind of hear it in your voice already. You don't see that flying for real, do you?
Not really.
Well, this is the thing. You never know what you'll do until you're in a situation. You never know what path you'll go down in life. So, and also, let me say this really quick, because you guys keep throwing out the word ego, like as if men are the only people with ego. Women have egos too. So,
True.
Just keep that in mind.
I definitely keep that in mind. But hold on.
So from a woman's perspective, let's Lottie, I'd like to hear your 2 cents on how the woman's ego would come into play in both
Say
situations.
that one more time.
So how would the woman's ego come into play? Because that's a good point. Women definitely do have egos, and as they should. We all human.
Right. You have ego, you have jealousy, you have hormones, you have estrogen, menstrual cycles. Should I go on? Like, so.
I'm in a group. And that this topic came up. They asked, what is the best way to approach it? Me personally, I feel like 2 sisters that have a strong bond, that are interested in their lifestyle, should go out and find a husband.
Now, you talking about actual sisters, as in they got the same parents, or sisters
No.
Asiatic women?
I don't give up if she was twin sisters. What Future say?
But in our actuality, back in biblical days, or however you want to put it, that's actually how it went. Not necessarily 2 sisters go out, but if a sister's husband passed, it was his brother's duty to provide for his fallen brother's family.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's a form of polygamy.
Definitely.
So, in today's time, like 2 friends, two women friends, that share a strong bond, and of course, knowledge of self. I say go for it. And if 2 brothers, got that type of bond, hey, go for it.
You know what?
It's so many different cells in our brain that makes us different. So, I can like black, white, and purple, and the next man can like black, white, and brown.
True.
Just that minute difference can play a major role in anything.
I got some friends I've known since the sandbox. Played G.I. Joe, Contra, tag, freeze tag. Remember, same kindergarten, all that. I ain't never been that close with no brother to ever think
Yeah,
about we go sit up and share a woman. That's it. But that's as you said. That's just me. What finds the next man lost remote? That's on him. But more power to you if you can pull it off. But and that woman, that man, because I don't. Most women can't keep they one man sexually satisfied because that is a big part of it. That's
Lies.
not the purpose of it. That
Lies.
is a big part of it. You ask most men I know. I haven't done no huge survey, but most men I know get told no often, and because a woman's tired. I've heard plenty of times you just got some earlier, all that kind of stuff comes up. So if you acting like that, how you gonna act with 2, 3 brothers?
I don't know. I don't hear this because I just actually posted about that not too long ago, and the women were definitely saying that it's the other way around. Like they have to control themselves from having hissy fits because their partner can't keep up. So it's definitely both sides of the spectrum. But another thing we have to realize too is societal standards. Like when we talk about something, just like not even getting into the ins and out of polygamy, not even getting down into polygyny and polyandry. When you just mention polygamy, people just get in an uproar. Like they just get so bothered by that word every time I see the topics on Facebook. And I'm just like, most people are sharing their partners now and know about it or don't know about it. So why not make it beneficial and orderly instead of being all over the place?
Exactly, because what we
Yes.
have right now in society is straight chaos. It's straight
Absolutely.
chaos.
Look how high
we
the
can
divorce
definitely
rate
agree
is.
on.
Look how high the divorce rate is. And in all actuality, especially in Western society, marriage is nothing but a contract. So
And then
people
it's
been
So I'm actually a divorcee. So from my personal experience, and I've actually have a couple of family members who've been divorced, and that goes back to the whole sex thing. My cousin Mel, he said his wife just would not go. Yeah, that caused a big rift. It caused him to be, unfaithful or whatever. But the biggest thing I think is lack of communication in the beginning. It's not expectations aren't set forth. Lack of
true.
communication and understanding. A lot of people say, we in the past we've always said that, communication is key. Understanding is key because you can communicate what you want, but unless that person truly understand what you're saying and where you're coming from, everything you said is in one ear and not the other. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Okay, yeah, I can. No, can you really do that? Like, when I wake up at 3:00 in the morning and I want to, yeah, like I need you to roll over and be ready. A lot of, that isn't communicated. Like, it's, I don't know the word for it, but they hint. People are too timid with their communication. They're not really breaking it down in the full details.
True. Well, brother, we appreciate you calling in, my brother.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely
Gotta
appreciate your
support.
wisdom, and thanks for the support, my man.
No problem,
Absolutely.
no problem. I tune in every week, man. They just changed my schedule. I'm an 8 to 5 man
Cool, cool.
peace
Banker
and
hours.
peace
now.
and
Yeah,
love,
yeah.
King.
Peace, peace.
All right, peace,
All right,
God.
peace, brother.
But he brought up some good points for sure.
Definitely.
The biblical aspect of it,
Right.
and and the Quranic aspect, as I read a little bit, is that was a lot of times the main time that came into play. A man having multiple wives is widows, with especially widows with children. So the
Hmm.
children could be provided for. But it was different. One thing we got to keep in mind in all this that I think both sides lose,
Hmm.
don't take into consideration is
Come on with it.
we are in the United States of America, a
Okay.
capitalist society. It's not about just going out there having a successful day of hunting and fishing. It takes greenbacks. Like,
Hmm.
so some of these expectations people have, you gotta, in my opinion, it's about building. Like, I know I mentioned sex earlier, but the main thing is about building and combining resources to deal with and to help deal with capitalism. You got multiple people with bringing in finance to accomplish goals, to set up entrepreneurial endeavors, acquire land, etc. You'll be more successful. But what most women, from my experience, they want, their first thing out their mouth is, they want you to already have everything built and think they just go come and lay around and flip through the channels all day. you know nah, we still got to get there. And if it's the natural progression of things, if I come across you while the empire's built, then so be it. That's the timing we got. But best believe, if I meet you where I'm at when we meet each other, and if you gonna ride with me, gonna ride with me. If you ain't, you ain't gonna be no doubling back once the acres is acquired, and the old school is in the garage and with the glass house doors and all that. And I'm riding my
My brother.
camel into the sunset and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to pull on the grab the hem of the coat. Then I'm
I
not
want to know where
Jesus
the hell you gonna be riding a camel in the US at.
wherever I want to. I'm
Okay.
from I'm from Kansas City. Brothers ride horses down the side of the street. Ride horses up and down the side of the main street back home. So I'm gonna be on the camel though.
Man, the main thing, just like the brother that called in said, is understanding, not communication. Like you said, it's understanding. Because you could talk all day, but if you're not digesting it and really understanding what that person is saying, or they're
Hmm.
not understanding what you're saying, then any type of friendship, relationship, family, whatever, is gonna crumble.
True.
So that
And
is definitely, the foundation has to be secure. Like, I see so many people on social media talk about how their polygamous unions fell apart, and the common denominator is always drama, jealousy. This person was jealous of her, or of him, or whatever.
hmm
And it's like, because y'all foundation wasn't solid. Because if y'all foundation was solid, there would be no room for none of that.
and
Lo-
and he
lo-
had too many women from the United States
Oh God, this
in
Yo,
is
the
hold on.
funny.
in the union.
Hold on. First of all, please pause. Okay,
Why?
pause. We going what is that? What is that supposed to mean? Too many women from the United States. Please elaborate
Most
on that,
most
Tariq.
women have in the United States have a sense of entitlement. Is most women will tell you they won't indulge in polygyny because they're jealous, and they will say that proudly.
Who are these most
Proudly.
women that you're talking about? Because they're not on my timeline. I haven't seen anyone on my timeline say that. So
Tell you that's my experience out in the
okay, stop
world, not
hanging
on
out at
social
the bingo
media.
hall talking to women about
Oh
polygamy
no.
because they definitely are not going to understand the depths of
Oh,
this,
shit. She said the
so
bingo hall.
just
At the at the bingo hall, whether it's bingo, knuckle, or spin the bottle, they all saying the same thing. Like, why am I even having to spin this bottle on all of y'all? Let's just all go.
Every time y'all say
So
bingo hall, I see old ladies and old men, man. I just
exactly.
at the
Exactly.
bingo
Because I'm
hall.
like, who?
I'm
No,
still
I
in my
know some.
prime. I ain't going no bingo hall.
But nah, serious talk though. Like I'm sitting here listening to both sides of the conversation, and like the thing that keeps ringing loud in my head is, I'm people got to learn how to sit with themselves first. Like most people can't be with themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Excuse my voice is a
It's
little
breaking
raspy.
up a little bit. You said most people what?
Can't be with
But
themselves.
most people can't
Oh,
be
true.
with themselves. They don't feel comfortable with themselves. If you put them in a dark room, a light room, any room alone for 5 minutes, they're grabbing their phone, they're on the computer, you know, they're doing something. They can't just enjoy their own company. And most people don't know themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
And they won't even take a peek at that what we call shadow self, right? Because, all of us have taught and we know that we're on the level where we understand, you got good and evil inside of you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like you both. But
Uh huh.
most people don't want to look at that evil side, what we might call the lower nature or the devil or whatever. You know, it's there. Everything in this whole existence is dichotomous. There's two sides to every coin, and you got both sides inside of you. And most people can't look at it. They don't want to see that. So when they start interacting with other people, whether it's same sex, opposite sex, whatever, whether it's platonic or it's some kind of relationship, intimate romantic relationship they're trying to form, it's doomed to fail from the get. Just mano a mano, just one on one, because they, you know, either one person or both people aren't even familiar with themselves because they won't allow themselves to be because they won't look at the shadow side.
Definitely.
Most people only want to hear and see what's good about them. They only want to be praised. They only want to be told great job. They only want to be, they only want to see that. So like how do you take that and then make it work in a partnership of any kind? And I think if we look there, we might start to get some real answers as to why, people's marriages or relationships aren't working. And then we know why, because like what's really like let's keep it funky. What's really pulling people into relationships? You know what I'm saying? We got a caller that just showed up. Caller, we see you. We're coming to you in just a moment. What's really
Yeah, I
pulling
think
people in?
most folks don't want to be alone. Like you said, don't want to be alone and don't know how to enjoy,
Well,
solitude.
and I guess what I'm getting at, bro, is like, let me just say it. I feel like it's purely biological why most people end up together.
Mhm.
Like, just like it's nature.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You got itches that need, it's a basic human need, that need to be scratched. And then we've learned to play tea party in the good old US of A, in this world, because we're required to dress up and play Tea Party most of the time. So we do it and we put on our face and we put on our best Tea Party outfit and we present ourselves to different people. And, we really just wanted to scratch our itch, men and women. But then we end up in this long, committed relationship that you're not even prepared for. And I'm just still talking about mano y mano, one person, one on one. But
Yeah.
then let's think about the people who have the poly itch. And so now they're in a relationship with 2, 3, 4, 5 people when they weren't ready for one. So that's my 2 cents for now. If y'all agree, I'll go ahead and go to the caller.
Yeah, you can go. I agree for the most part. Also, like you said, it's a basic need, but I don't think humans aren't meant to be alone.
I'm sorry, brother. I wasn't saying if you agree with me. I was saying if y'all agree, I'll go ahead and pull the caller in. My bad.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Pull the caller in.
Yeah.
Nah, that would be very presumptuous to presume that y'all agree with what I just said. Hold on one second. Let me pull him in.
All right.
Caller, you are on the air. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's it going, everybody?
It's going well. Who do we have the
good.
pleasure of speaking with?
This is Tony.
Okay. Hey, Tony.
Hello, Tony.
Hello.
So, what's up? What's on your mind?
Well, I was listening in. I don't know where y'all left off at because I've been trying to call in. So.
I don't know worries. What
brief me a little bit on this conversation.
What's the last thing you heard?
I know you guys talking about polygamy. Right?
Uh-huh.
Right. So what are your views on having more than one significant other or being a part of a union that is based upon those, those type of values?
Me personally, I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't really like if somebody is in that lifestyle and they're happy and they're okay with it, more power to them. But it would never be nothing that I would be interested in doing.
And why would that be?
Okay, hold on, Tony. Let me be clear. So we're talking about polygyny versus polyandry. So one is
all men, where the woman have multiple men, and then the other one is where the man have multiple women, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
Right. I wouldn't want to be involved with neither one.
Okay. Talk to us.
So why wouldn't you want to be in have sister wives, be with the man that has multiple women?
For me, I just really couldn't see myself like being okay with it, And I did hear y'all say something about jealousy. I don't think that jealousy will play a role with it. I just personally wouldn't want to share somebody in that way sexually. And I know, of course, they're out there doing it, whether they know it or not, or, whatever. You're going to take that chance because that's just how the world is. Men and women cheat all day long and they step out on their relationship, do it behind their partner back. But I just really wouldn't want to be in that situation sharing a man or me being a woman sharing multiple partners. Like, I don't know. I just the body fluids and just everything that come with all that just freaks me out.
Understandable.
So would you say that you are selfish?
That I'm what?
Would you say that you are selfish? Because you say, main thing I keep hearing you say is that you wouldn't want to share.
Yeah, I share many things, so I wouldn't call myself selfish. unless you want to just call me selfish for that one particular thing, because other than that, I'll share my toys. I'll share my food. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't even like sharing clothes. You know, so yeah, sharing a man or a woman. Like, first of all, I don't even like women like that, and I don't know. I guess the rules are, you know, you take turns. Like, I really don't even like know how it is. I know it's not really about like a freaky deaky type of get down situation. I'm pretty sure that this thing is well talked out, and everybody know their position they supposed to play, and you know, I don't know. Do they have nights where they have threesomes? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Me personally, I want 2 California king size beds pushed together.
Lord. Oh, wow.
Wow. So you're gonna be making sure you taking you a lot of vitamins then, huh?
I can't think of a better inspiration to take care of myself.
Yeah, because you're gonna need a whole lot of energy that you're gonna have to keep up with them women.
Exactly.
They're gonna have to keep up with
So
me.
how does it go? I mean, do you give Mary Monday, Sue Tuesday, Felicia Wednesday? I mean, do they have scheduled sexual encounters? Like,
No.
I don't get it. Who's in control here?
The man is in control.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It just depends on the situation. Okay.
He's being a clown. He's being a clown, man.
On the situation.
He a little touched.
It kind of looks like the man usually be the one in charge.
Well,
He, in my opinion, the man is the head of the household or the union or the tribe. The women provide him wise counsel. And I think having, like, you know, it's first and foremost, let me say this. Polygyny is the man taking on more responsibility, having to do more work. It's really a toll on us because, you know, it's easy to run around here and just mess with a bunch of women and not be responsible for them, not to care for them.
This is truth.
And just, you know, that's easy. So it's but taking on multiple wives and having wives that you will die for, provide for, protect, etc. Like that is a lot more noble thing. And it's like I said, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, especially if you got women from the United States of America. Like me, I think I'm gonna just have one wife from the United States, and I'm going to the bush in South America where I need a machete. I need a machete to get to her, because somewhere it's women out there that's happy as long as, you know, they provided for and they protected and safe, and you ain't beating them. Most women nowadays, you bring her, like, we all watch Power. Keisha told Tommy, "I'm tired of being in the city. It's dangerous. I want a nice house in the suburbs." This dude immediately go gets her a house paid for. What was the first thing out of her mouth? "You hear that? It's too quiet out here." This is like, yo, you asked for this. I got you what the hell you asked for. Bring the sister to the world. She talking about where the stars and the moon at.
And you want to have 4 and 5 of them.
No, I'm going to have one of those because I love my sisters. I'm going to have one from the United States, and she ain't going to have that mentality. And the rest, I'm
you know what?
I'm a globe trot for travel abroad.
Yeah, okay.
Now, let me ask you this question. Is that your desire, or do you feel like circumstances kind of push you to that decision?
Yes, both. Now, it really, I think it's more it's probably like 70% circumstance, 30% desire.
Okay.
Because to me, the so-called or the black woman is the most beautiful woman in the world. And if I had my way, I'd have about, three wives is a good number. And I want a light skin, medium brown, and a super dark chocolate sister. And I'll be the happiest camper in the world.
Wow. You make this sound like a ice cream flavor.
Wu-Tang made a very good song about that.
Wow.
Wu-Tang forever.
This is out of this world. So how do other people feel on the phone? Y'all, is that something y'all would see yourself into?
Lottie?
It is quiet.
Absolutely. No, because I wanted to see if Chris was going to go first. Absolutely.
Okay.
Depending on the foundation of my original union, then yeah, absolutely. Because before you probably didn't hear that before you got on because you were on hold, but we were talking about how the divorce rate is sky high. Monogamous relationships are just getting drove into the ground because people are cutting off their natural human desire to be attracted to someone else because they feel that they are supposed to be with this person for the rest of their life. And so I'm extremely open-minded on all levels of life. And so I just feel like, again, depending upon the foundation of the original union, then yes, that's definitely something that I can see myself cultivating. Because the possibilities are endless. I mean, our ancestors knew the importance and the benefit of these type of things. You know what I'm saying? So
family.
Definitely. It's all throughout the Bible. Just like the brother that said before he got off the call, if someone's brother was, murdered, died, what have you, his brother would marry his spouse, his widow, and take care of the children. But in these times, if something like that was to happen, people would be like, they been creeping around, they been doing this. Our minds are so sick and twisted in the way that we look at things because of how society has over sexualized everything, and even myself included. I'm slowly unraveling from the programming. So the way that we look at things is so perverted and it's so closed-minded, and this is a conversation that's going to take a couple of more decades before people start even getting comfortable with talking about it, let alone seeing someone in a polygynous union or polyandry union.
We have another caller waiting. I just wanted to acknowledge that caller. Caller, we see you, and we will get with you in just one moment. Go ahead, Lottie. Continue.
So
excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead, Terry.
Now, when you say you could see yourself being a part of that, are you talking about both polygyny and polyandry?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Both. Just depending upon the the situation. You know, just like you said, you wouldn't deal with two American women. I personally don't see two American brothers doing that either. Well, just depending upon the situation, but the level of immaturity already in a lot of brothers, I can't see them seeing past their, you know, small-minded ego.
Wow.
So, you know, I mean, that's just my honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's just my honest opinion. So, you know, maybe I would go get a Tyrone and then a Siegfried.
You said a Siegfried.
Siegfried and Tyrone.
Siegfried, y'all. You going to Germany or something?
Siegfried is in Barbados. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know, so. But again, the way that I look at things, I'm an extremely open-minded person. I like to relate a lot of things back to history, and there's extreme benefits. But of course, I'm not going to go scout somebody out and be like, "Hey, sis, or bro, you look like you would be good for this position. Come on over here." No, this takes time. This takes order. This takes trust. This takes, you know, years to build something of this magnitude with different energies, different opinions, different everything. So yeah, to answer your question though, yes. What about you, Chris? You want to go to the next caller, or you want to answer yourself?
I do want to go to the next caller, but I will say that I will answer in this way. For me, I'm all about doing whatever is needed to achieve balance and harmony. So, and that's my honest answer. So in any situation, you know, on a microcosmic level to a macrocosmic level, I just more and more each day as I grow, I'm learning and having the desire to approach it from the standpoint of what is needed. So, you know, if I'm assessing the situation and I'm gathering all the data and the science and the mathematics of the situation, and you know, it's just like in math, you know, with basic addition, you know, where no, not addition, where in subtraction where you have to borrow, right? You know, electrons and protons, you know, they work in this way as well when you are dealing with chemistry. You know, you begin to see how things flow in nature. Things aren't always cookie cutter. You know, balance looks different on different days. So that's what I'm learning. You know, we get into what my personal preferences are, how I feel. You know, it may be different from what is needed. You know what I'm saying? And I think the whole idea is to learn to overcome how we feel and do what is needed, because we won't see any real change in our personal lives or collectively as a people until we begin to like put our feelings on the back burner and do what is needed.
And you
So go ahead,
bring
brother.
up a great point with that. What's needed and balance. And right now, from my perspective, which is, you know, the only perspective I could truly speak from, is right now you got it's more women than men, and typically it's always been like that due to wars. You know, just mainly war. Now you got war, jail, homosexuality
which is an act of war on an occupied people. I just want to throw that in there.
And I appreciate that. And I agree wholeheartedly. So with those factors in, and war also includes what we doing to ourselves in the streets every day. When you turn on the news, you see the shootings and et cetera, et cetera. but you know, it's a lack of. I won't say that just blanket, but because we are doing better every day. They try to throw us men under the bus, but most of the brothers I know and rock with, like we all handle our business, take care of our children.
We lost the second caller. Caller, if you could call right back in, we'll pull you right on. Please call right back in. We apologize.
Is the sister still on?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I was saying, you know, and historically, on top of that, and for those same reasons, we have always been polygynous. And that's not to say everybody in the society engaged in it. There were still monogamous relationships, but it was not, polygyny was not frowned upon. It was very much a part of the culture. And for most of the world, has polygyny. This United States, and I think that came, if we were never colonized, we would still be polygynous. That came with colonization. And we did not, for the most part, practice polyandry. I got to look at that source again. I can't remember the exact source at the moment. Forgive me, but it's a very small percentage of the world practices polyandry. But it's like less than 1%. But I'm of the belief, it's my hypothesis or theory, that monogamy came about and was instituted so every European man can have a wife. But polygyny is so every woman can have a husband. And they did that because if every brother could have his wife, and it would be a brother with 2-3 sisters and about 10 European women in the harem, like a Moorish bathhouse back in the day. Like, so to for their interest and to help them keep up with this population control, and you know, we read about their dwindling numbers all the time as far as being able to reproduce. They put in this monogamous and outlaw polygyny, like when that's not really our nature. It's a reason married men get hit on all the time.
And married women.
Yeah, those are dirtbags. Go
ahead. Just saying, your stock go up when you get married.
Not to men with honor. We see a wedding ring, and you know that automatically, like, nah, don't even continue.
How many of y'all with honor is it? 7? I said, you said to men with honor. I said, how many of y'all with honor is it? About 7 of y'all?
Hey, probably. That's even more of a reason for us to have multiple women so they can all have honorable men.
Man, I done heard, you know, because I tell somebody I'm married in a minute to get you up on my face. Oh, we can't be friends? What?
Mm-mm. That whole male friend thing and that friend stuff, that's a whole nother show right there, because that's a no-go.
I realized when I was married, I got hit on, seemed like more when I was married than now that I'm single.
See?
You think it was, were there any other factors with how you were carrying yourself?
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay. Because I know
I always carried myself with respect when I was married and single.
Got you.
Wait, what you mean by that, though, Tariq?
Well, because she might have been in a better mood all the time married. And that just radiated off of her, and people wanted to be a part of that.
Gotcha.
No, I mean, even though I got a radiant personality anyway, but I just When I was married, men knew I was married, and they knew that, wasn't nothing going to go past that. If I held a conversation, because I wasn't going to just not talk to people because I was married.
Mm-hmm.
It's different if that conversation turned to something more disrespectful, or him trying to talk me into my number or anything like that. You got to know how to handle those situations too. So I always did to handle the situation, shut that kind of stuff down. But they sure didn't care about me being married, though.
They wanted that polyandry with you.
I guess they was trying to recruit me.
Not recruit. That is funny.
Well,
Yeah, they were trying to recruit me.
and again, sis, we gotta remember, most people aren't even eligible to be talking about being married to one person. Like, if we keep it all the way real.
Right.
We don't have any rites of passage in place. We don't have common customs any longer. So again, you can not even neighborhood to neighborhood. We don't really have neighborhoods anymore either, but for the sake of conversation, neighborhood to neighborhood is not even a topic. It's house to house. The common customs are different. So we're so different because everybody's doing whatever they want to do. You understand? That's how we're raised. And then we got to try to figure out how to have a meaningful relationship with somebody else and live life and have children and pay bills. And we haven't talked about the children yet, because that's, what's the whole point and the coming together is really, again, on a basic level, procreation. And then you got to train those children up a certain way. So it's like, again, how can people walk together unless they agree on where they're going, how they're going to walk, how they're, how are we going to do this? And people haven't gotten over those humps. People aren't self-sufficient. People lack skills, basic people skills. Number one, they don't have uh, gainful employment, um, principles, morals, values are different again from house to house. Some people, we can say some people have none, but everybody has some kind of a code that they live by. It just may not measure up to be worth 2 cents when you're talking about having a family. Did I lose everybody? Y'all still here?
Yeah,
Still
no,
here.
we
Okay,
hear what
all
you.
right.
We definitely hear what you. I definitely
So
just want to say to the other caller though, please call back in because we do want to hear what you have to say. We do apologize for that. Once we do see you calling in, we will let you right on the line so that you can say what you have to say. Go ahead, Chris.
no, that's pretty much it. I'm just wanting everybody to think about that as we talk about, Sister Sharon, uh, Sister Tony is sharing that, hey, brothers would holler anyway. They didn't care if I was married. It was like, hey, what he got to do with me? You're
Yeah.
dealing with somebody who doesn't share your value system, and the value system is being given to people by the machine that we talked about. We all went to, most of us went to public school. Most of us have watched TV our whole lives, gone to the movies. We're all inundated with the media, like you said, the hypersexuality. We're inundated with an imitation of life and not real life, because real life is actually life. When you look at indigenous populations, they have a true lifestyle. This is a death culture that we've inherited here. Everything leads to death, everything leads to damnation, everything leads to depression. We're constantly in a fight for our very lives all the time on every level. Why wouldn't it be the same in the area of relationships and family. And that's the true assault is on the family structure. They don't want us getting along just one on one. So everybody's not every single person, but y'all know what I'm saying. Most people are actually, crazy a little bit.
Right, right.
Varying degrees of crazy. So yeah, you got to kind of find your little tribe and stick with them, but not be surprised when somebody's approaching you and saying, "Yeah, I don't care about your husband. Let's us do us." That's what they grew up seeing, so they're just doing what they saw. And most people are selfish and haven't gone through any process to stop being selfish. So that's what that's how they move.
So, do y'all know any relationships where the woman have multiple husbands that's successful?
I've never
Not
seen
me
it.
personally.
Yeah, because I can't really see too many men being in that situation and being okay with sharing that woman.
Yeah, I can't say it either, sis. I just can't even. It's just
Most men won't do it.
There's shenanigans in my book.
I just feel like if any man did participate, he would be weak, somebody weak. I think that his participation would come from something that probably happened in his childhood or growing up, or maybe some bad relationships. I don't know. I just couldn't see like a well-rounded man just entering into that relationship and being okay with it.
I would agree for the most part. Like only exception I could possibly see would be like maybe like twin brothers or something, like super close. But,
you said twin brothers?
Yeah, maybe they would be close enough to share a woman, but they, but nah, I just can't see it. And my thing is this,
I feel the same way the brothers feel. I can't see it.
But my issue is this, right? Who's the father of the baby? And while if a woman has multiple husbands, while she's pregnant, is she still sleeping with the other man?
That's not your business.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I can see the other man. What are you going to say? Like, make sure you put a condom on. I don't want no sperm on my baby head. Like,
Wait, what now?
Hey.
How does that, work? Like, do we got to wait to do the blood test? Like she said, who's the father of this baby? If she been sleeping with both and having unprotected sex with both.
That's why, again, it would be order, okay?
Oh, okay. So she has to order to go make sure that she soaks in the tub. So when he go down on her, he not slurping on the other dude's body fluid.
Whoa. What now?
She keeping it real.
This is why I cannot be involved. It's too deep.
Yeah, remember Tony said when she came on that she just imagined the fluids and all of that. She don't know how that would work because
absolutely, I understand
the swapping of the fluids. She
I
wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, too much to come with it.
Just like you ain't about to go to a track meet and then go home and get your ass ate by your monogamous spouse in a relationship. I'm pretty sure its order is gonna be, showers involved and things of that nature. Like, but again,
I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. But I mean, that stuff don't just come out in one day.
Excuse me. We gotta go back to something. Did you just say what a man's wife do is not his business?
Who?
When Lottie, when I said earlier about while she's pregnant by one husband, is she still gonna sleep with the other?
Right.
You saying that's not the man's business?
No, I'm saying that's not your business personally, because you say you wouldn't be involved in a polyandry union. So
I'm talking about hypothetically from that man's standpoint.
Okay, what's the question again from the man's standpoint, hypothetically, not from you?
Wow, this man.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I know. And hey, those are some shots I take. I got the bulletproof vest on when it comes to that there. But for a man that is in a polyandrous relationship, he gets his wife pregnant. Does the wife still sleep with the other husband? And that is very much that man's business.
Oh, definitely. It's all of their business because they're all in a union together.
So
that's why I said, or do he say you can sleep with her, but please make sure you put on a condom?
Well, this is the thing.
And we both know that ain't happening.
Depending on the woman,
exactly.
You got some women that don't even want to have sex the whole time that they're pregnant because of hormones, pain levels, depending on if it's a high risk pregnancy. We can throw in all different type of factors if y'all really want to go, to that extent.
So then what those two husbands going to do then? They going to go outside of that wife and go sleep around with her permission? I mean, what's
they going to practice semen retention. This take time to tap into their warrior spirit, okay?
Nah, you don't want to talk about no warrior spirit. Ain't no warrior spirit with two brothers sharing a woman. A warrior spirit is you come in, you chop his head off, and you put it on a pike on front of the house to let brothers know ain't nobody else trying to touch my woman. That's
man.
So, man, you threw my whole semen retention for 9 months. It's crazy. But most women still want to be intimate while they're with child, and that's when it's the best, to be honest. And men know, and men are very well aware of that. So, ain't no men go sit up the whole 9 months and not touch. That is very rare, very rare. Like, you might find
okay, so I have a question. I have a question for Lottie. What would be the give us a list of what would cause one to desire polyandry? And what are the proposed benefits of polyandry on an individual level and on a family level for those who would create that kind of a family, and then on a community level?
Okay, say that again, because on my end you was going in and out.
Okay, so I said I would like for you to list for all of us the proposed motivation for participating in polyandry, and what would be the benefits on a personal level for those involved, on a family level for those who would choose to participate in that family structure, and a community level. What would be the benefits?
Okay.
What is the motivation first? What are the motivations first, and then those benefits on all those different levels?
Commerce is the motivation. Money, businesses, building. Because when you have three people that are on the same page, two men that are on the same page, hypothetically, of course, because again, I'm open-minded. I've never been in a situation like this, but I can visualize, into existence. So you have, and this is just speaking of, with three people, not beyond that, because it can go beyond that, and that's another thing that I would be open to, but that's another subject. So you have two men that are building, let's say they don't have children, the two men, they don't have children, and they are not emotionally invested like most women would want, because most women are just wired in that way to need certain attention, affection, and things like that. But this particular woman doesn't necessarily require that much. And so the three of them can excel on multiple levels and can bring in extreme, revenue financial wise, between them, if they're on that particular level. Now, when I'm saying this, in this society, again, most people brain goes on a whirlwind. I've seen people say, you just want to get flipped, or you just want to have a threesome, or you just want to be, freaky, or all this type of things. But it's different levels.
aren't now you brought it up, so I'm gonna go there because,
of course,
as you know, I'm an astrologer.
Okay.
And I see that the energies don't discriminate. The planets align how they align, whether it's a male child or a female child being born, right?
Right.
That soul is incarnating and coming to have a particular experience, and you're bestowed with a particular base nature, and you got to work that out, right? While you're walking through life.
Right.
So I see that some people are more highly sexed than others. People, not just men, not just women, people, period.
Right.
Some people don't have much of a sex drive. They can, go a little while and they'll be good. Just people are different. They're built different. They have different natures. So I would be remiss if I didn't ask the question directly, like, is not one of the personal benefits of this situation kind of allowing maybe a woman with a higher, sexual drive to be fulfilled on a regular basis?
In some instances, depending on the woman, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I definitely think so. I've personally had these conversations, with sisters, and definitely. But back to what Tariq said about, most of the men that he knows,
Mm-hmm.
they're unfulfilled, and the woman is saying the complete opposite. That's not the case in the women that I've conversed with,
Okay.
But then also, again, we are in the United States of America, where something like this, to even speak about it, is just so taboo. You know what I'm saying? And so if a woman were to even express that, then, she gets called all of these type of derogatory names. I seen a sister just put up a post recently about how she is 100% into Polyandry, and she would definitely want a husband and a boyfriend. And for the boyfriend, he would be there for the more emotional part of it. She doesn't care if he was to have another significant other, but he would be there more for the emotional part and other aspects that the main one that she built her union upon has the opposite aspects. Like, maybe he may be more masculine, a builder, a person who makes moves, and doesn't have and is logical and doesn't have that emotion aspect of it, but their souls connected and they were able to build upon that. But she needs more fulfillment in another department. Does that make sense?
When you ask, does that make sense? What are you asking?
Say that again. You went out on me.
I said, when you ask, does that make sense? What are you asking? Do I agree or did I understand?
No, yeah. Did you understand? I don't not necessarily agree. Did you
Yes.
understand
Yeah.
what?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I understood where you were coming from.
yeah. So, um, yeah. Back to the original question you laid out. Could it be for reasons as pertaining to the woman being hypersexual? Absolutely. But every case is different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing more and more women speak about polyandry openly, and I love it because for so long, women, especially Black women, and still now, Moorish women, however you decide to identify yourself, we are ridiculed for everything, everything. We are ridiculed for twerking. We're ridiculed for doing a dance. We everything we do is overly sexualized. So
In Walmart. Only,
you know what?
only ridicule them for doing it in Walmart.
Listen, the
You in the
comments that I
club,
see
you in the
and the
King's
stuff
private
that
chambers, show out, show up and show out. But Walmart, this one video that you seen the video of them chicks in the Walgreens talking about Hennessy and a Plan B, and they start.
you know what? Of course, we know we got those fools
Of course.
every so often in there, but the gist of what I'm saying is we've been policed for too long. Like I love seeing sisters just unapologetically being who they are, saying whatever they want and acting upon it if that's what they want to do. Like, so again, my opinion on this is not going to change. Like this is an open-minded subject for me. This is not something that I would ever shut out. It's not something that I would just ever jump into either. It's all about structure.
Okay, so all right. So we talk about structure. With everything, how does this all, like, what's the ultimate goal? Because
The
I've
goal is
always
to
been
build a
of the
tribe.
opinion, okay, and when you're building anything, right, we can't have a free for all. And I'm not using that tone with you. I'm just saying, just over across the board, on both sides of the debate or conversation, should I say, it can't be a free for all. We can't just do whatever we want to do. So I'm not for men doing whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. And I don't think the indigenous women here in America were about that either. I think that's why they instituted uh, polygyny the way that they did, especially among the southeastern tribes, because they didn't want anybody just doing whatever they wanted to do. So they put order to the situation. But anything that we do, whether it's polyandry or polygyny or monogamy, whatever it is, it has to be done in order if the goal is to build something. Because we think about building, geometry comes to my mind, you know, and I know
Right.
geometry has rules, there are boundaries. You know what I'm saying? If you want to build, you got tools that you use to build, and those tools, some of them are used to measure, so you have a particular circumference or diameter or whatever that you're trying to measure. So and you have a certain width and length, that you're bound by in order to get your desired end result. So I do love how I like to see people breaking free of energies that have them all bound up. I don't like to see people afraid to express, because that can be just as harmful, right? But at the same time, at some point after we've broken free, because usually the breaking free, the pendulum is swinging all the way to one side in a very unbalanced manner. And I think that's to be expected. You got to expect that that's what's going to happen at first.
Chris, I don't want to cut you off, but
No,
it
go
showed
ahead.
a caller was saying that she tried to call in, but it said she was on hold. So
Tell her to call back in. We didn't see anybody else call back in.
Okay.
Sister Tony,
go ahead.
still on the line. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you guys for having me. I'll be checking back in with y'all.
All right, Tony, take care.
Everybody enjoy their evening.
All right, you too, sister.
Thank you. Good night.
Continue on watching us on YouTube and follow the rest of the show. Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, guys. So this is definitely something that is not for the feeble-minded.
Okay, we have a caller. Hang on one second. Caller, welcome.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. I need to be caught up, man. I haven't been listening. I just got the link that you all were up and having a discussion right now.
Okay. Well, first of all, who are we speaking with?
This is Tim. I'm LT's guy. He tagged me in and said you all while we're doing the podcast right now when I want to join in.
Okay. All right, Tariq, you want to catch brother Tim up?
Yeah, bro. Peace, bro.
What's going on?
We're getting a lot of feedback from your line too.
Okay. You know what? It's probably because I'm on Bluetooth. You think I should hang up and call regularly?
Yeah. Or just disconnect.
All right.
But yeah, just hit us back, man.
All right, give me a sec. I will.
All right.
Okay, peace.
Well, yeah, I just, like you said, gotta be some structure, gotta be some rules, and that's for, I think, if we really gonna build, if we really thinking about community and tribe, you can have a tribe that does things one way and another tribe over here that does things other, but my tribe would not be a polyandry tribe, but we could definitely break bread, come together in peace, and build. But I just like I said,
right, because there's nothing new under the sun. Like what's going?
Go ahead.
No, I was just adding real quick. I was saying there's nothing new under the sun. So
yeah,
like what's gonna be is gonna be. This is on the planet. There's a lot of happenings on the planet that might not be your particular cup of tea. When I say your, I mean anyone's particular cup of tea, but it still exists, and everyone has a right to exist and express and experience. So, and that's just the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not taking a side. That's just what it is. But go ahead, brother.
Because at the end of the day, you can't change people. You can only change yourself. You can only really govern yourself. So if that works, if polyandry works for for the men and the woman involved, and the more power to them. As long as everybody taken care of, it's no abuse. And I want to add this on too, whether it's monogamy or a polygamy. When you make an oath or an agreement, like if you sign up in a monogamous relationship and you give your word before the Creator, if you believe in one, or between you and your woman, or however you give that woman your word, that's what you need to stick to. You know, if you sit there and agree to be monogamous, be monogamous.
I agree with that.
You know, so at the same time, be upfront. If you want polygyny, be upfront. Let the woman make that choice. And what I've run into a lot is, and I've heard other brothers run into, is women will say, you know, that'll work, and then when their feelings get involved, they switch up and say, oh no, I can't really do that, and think you're gonna, you know, change your desires for their benefit. And I was like, you know, I'm up front with you. I told you what I want. So you switching up is you switching up, not me. You know?
But people switch up every day. That's life.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if if we decide we leave from New York, talking about we driving to Cali, we get to Kansas, and you say, oh man, I want to go back. Man, you gonna have to book you a flight. Turn around.
You know what? Gladly.
Book you a flight. You know, I'll take you to the nearest airport. But that might be a bad example. But what I'm saying is, just like it's people's right to change what they want to do and what direction they want to move in, it's that person's right to part ways to continue on the path that they going, or what they desire, if that's their true desire. You know. So I think a lot of brothers are getting to the point where they do want multiple women. I think a lot of it is sex, because a lot of brothers get to the point where, you know, they've tried polygyny or heard of other brothers trying polygyny. They just get to the point where they just want a woman that's just gonna bring other women home, call it a day. Here, another chick that's gonna bring other women home here and there, and just be cool with that. So that's another thing too. That might be a little off subject, but you know, but I honestly don't see a woman truly keeping up with two men.
We know. We know.
I don't like the odds. So
Yeah, I haven't seen your guy pop back up in the
He's probably going through a bad area. He did say he was on Bluetooth, so you know how that go.
Yeah. No worries. But I agree with the intent is always, you know, to be successful in life, have a strong family unit, and extend that to a strong community, strong tribe, and then strong tribes make a strong nation. And I think polygyny lends itself to that more than polyandry. Just for one, out of the numbers. For two, it's more in line with nature. If you look at, I feel like if a woman was meant to have multiple husbands, then she would be able to give them both a child at the same time. she will be able to get pregnant and have a baby by each in her womb. That's not natural. Like if both husbands want 5 children, like most, that's a lot.
But if you can't even get it up to get these 5 kids, how you gonna?
Where is that coming?
Ooh, you know, that was so loaded. I'm not even gonna touch that one.
Coming from?
I ain't touching that one.
If you can't even what now? I mean, I do get what you're saying. I do, and from that aspect. But again, we're dealing with a different. First of all, just astrologically, a different time. Like we are in the age of information. Just seriously. Old souls return back to earth knowing exactly what their purpose is and knowing what they need to fulfill and what the path they're going on. So it's like you can throw out all of the nature and what you can see and what you can't see, but everybody is different. Everybody is different. Like even putting it in a cosmological sense, if you look at people's birth chart and their natal chart, some men have more feminine planets than other men. Some men have more masculine planets. Some women,
Isn't that nature?
Yeah, it absolutely is. So what I'm saying is, so we're kind of like agreeing, but in kind of different ways. It's like your own, in my opinion, biases make you not see the potentials of polyandry. Excuse me.
Some people say bias, some people say preference. So,
Well,
some people say natural, some people say unnatural.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
go ahead.
We're dealing with different energies. And some people can handle certain things that other people may think, wait, what? How could you do that? How was that possible? So
yeah,
you would never know about a situation until you're in that person's shoes.
True. In a very general sense, just talking about men and women's bodies, biological. A man, if a man has 2 wives and they both want 5 children, they want 10 children. A man like myself, healthy, will be able to give each woman the number of children she's capable of having. But a woman can't necessarily do that. If both men want 10 children, she's not giving 20 babies. She's not having 20 children. In most cases, like that'd be very rare. Of course, there's an exception to every rule. There's an anomaly you'll find, but in most cases, that's not happening. Like, and then who gets to have the child first? Who waits? And again, I gotta go back to, I just can't imagine a man being cool with his pregnant wife sleeping with another man, whether she's calling that man the husband or not. Like that's just down to your nature, down to nature and just your natural reaction. Like when you hear a pregnant woman ain't supposed to be sleeping with no other man. Like that's just, to me, that's just crazy.
I mean, I'm not going to speak on that because, again, I can't speak on I've never been in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for people that are out there, because I'm pretty sure this is a huge world. I'm pretty sure there's somebody in this situation right now. That's none of my business.
Yeah.
Like, that's if that is what makes them complete, then damn what society says you shouldn't or shouldn't be doing. I mean, some people would throw a hissy for polygyny. Just the thought of two women with a man. It's just.
They.
I guess I'm saying all this to say people are gonna always have something to say, no matter what. Like this, like Chris said, there's nothing new under the sun. People are always gonna have something to say. So please do what is in order for you to do for your life path, and not worry about what Tom, Dick, and Harry are saying.
Unless you're a pedophile.
Exactly. Anything with children, we don't condone that at all. Off with your head. But, grown people doing what they do, hey.
We have a caller.
Okay.
I want to bring the caller in real quick.
All right.
Caller, welcome.
Peace. What's going on, everybody?
Peace, brother. Who we speaking with?
It's your boy D Calico. My not many may know, but my appellation is Mohela debate. So yeah, I'm just chiming in. We still talking on polygamy,
polygyny versus polyandry. What are your thoughts, brother?
I mean, number one, when it comes to polygamy, it's almost like it's just our nature. You feel me? But that's not saying every single man. There's no one way for every man on earth.
True.
But for the majority of us melanated men, especially being at the alarming rate that there's less of us and more women, it would kind of solve the problem. How we got all these baby mamas and all these single mothers. You feel me? It would kind of solve that problem because the guy wouldn't feel like, dang, I can't be with her without leaving her. But really, it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be his responsibility for the rest of his life. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I feel like polygamy come in. But I always have a hard time with that, that polyandry, because women a woman is like she has like an open womb at all times. So she's a vessel. Like a man, we have a phallus or whatever, but a woman, like everything is internal.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So her being with multiple men, like even sperm, like lasting, basically it'll survive in a woman for like up to 7 years. Not necessarily sperm, but his DNA from his sperm is in there for up to 7 years. And that's each man,
Mm-hmm.
So it just don't seem right to be sharing such a sacred thing. You feel me? I know women, but a lot of women want to be men nowadays. You feel me? Not to say, because, we're not supposed to just be, only time we're supposed to really have sex is, to procreate. So all of us getting, wild with the loving. But it seems like if anybody's going to be poly, I feel like, it's more so suitable for men, you feel me, than a woman. But that's just my take on it.
Okay.
All right, brother. We appreciate
it. We can definitely dig it.
I couldn't hear you, brother.
How you were breaking up?
I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear what you said.
No, I said we can dig it. We appreciate you calling in, giving your opinion on this. It's definitely much appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate the time.
All right, brother. Appreciate the support. Keep tuning in. We on every Thursday, my man.
I got you.
All right. Peace,
Okay,
more.
brother. Peace and love, bro.
Peace, peace.
One key thing the brother said that really jumped out to me was sacred. And that's that's how we are raised, and that's how we naturally think of women and a woman is sacred. And that, like, when he said you ain't supposed to really share something so sacred like that, like, I agree. And again, I'm a man, only speaking from a man's perspective. I get that. But I agree with what the brother said about that 110%.
It's like when it comes to this, men will say that, but when it comes to being in a monogamous relationship with a woman, you won't even treat her like, not you, just on a grand scale of what I see from experience and talking to different women. You won't even treat her like she is a sacred entity when it's just you two. Like, you're lying and, not holding up your side of the bargain in a monogamous relationship. So it's like you throw out that word sacred when she speaks of polyandry. It just seems extreme. It just seems extremely convenient. It's like it's always a thing when a woman wants to do what she wants to do. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to. Now, again, I get what he's saying in certain aspects, but it's just like, it just made to sound so just disgusting and just unclean and just, this goes against this and that. And, men should definitely not be planting their seed in every woman that they have sex with. But does that stop them from doing that? No. How much life force and energy do you drain from releasing constantly in all of these different women? How much soul ties do you have attached to your being from having sex with all these different women? So it can go both ways.
And I agree with you. I agree with you. That's why I'm saying it can't be a free for all.
Divine.
And I agree with that too, for the most part. We definitely need more structure and more self-control on both sides, like, because I agree, if you don't, if it's not a woman that you intend for to be your wife, you really shouldn't be laying down with her. You really shouldn't.
Right.
But of course, that's not how it goes in today's society. It's just like the brother said, it's a free for all right now.
Right, and that's why we're offering the uncommon sense that's saying, hey, let's go back to the way that, people did things when things worked. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm also for arranged marriages. It takes a lot more of a society to do that. But yes. I'm for that, because at the end of the day, my son is gonna have to go out in the world and marry someone's daughter, and I don't know what principles she's been raised on and all that. But I don't know. It's just you can't, like you said, you can't have a free for all. The man basically, we both sides have to do better. Both sides have to do better. That's true. But honestly, I don't think we look at ourselves as sacred like that, or we not raised up to look at ourselves like that. We were raised to look at women like that, and we the ones that are because to really truly protect a woman, you can't be thinking you're as sacred as her. Like I'm the one that's gonna lay it on the line and be on the front lines of battle. She's a sacred one that I gotta protect.
Right.
So I'm not looking. Of course I value myself. Of course you value yourself. But as far as like, oh, I'm the sacred one, and I'm not.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Well,
Callers, if you wanted to call in before we wrap it up and give any input in, suggestions, outbursts, opinions.
Yeah, the outbursts are welcome too.
Right. We know how this subject can be sometimes, it's okay. But yeah, so I guess we can all unanimously agree that structure, order, foundation, and understanding is the root to any successful ship, I guess you could say. Now, that don't mean that Tariq gonna go out, and become a part of a Polyandry union, but but he can maybe understand that everybody is different and what works for other people may not work for him, or what works for anybody may not work for me or Chris, or so
let a simp be a simp.
Right. You know what?
Hey man, he's a class clown. You gotta.
I'm used to it.
Good Lord.
So, I'm gonna have my 2 Virgo sun husbands.
Oh wow.
They ain't gonna be Virgos ain't going for that. Virgos, we think too much.
One of them gonna have a Venus in Scorpio, the other one gonna have a Venus in Leo, and we gonna live happily ever after.
How much drugs are involved in this? Let me see.
Oh,
matter of fact, nah, you keep that. You keep that. None of that.
One of them is going to be an accountant. The other is going to build us a home.
So he's going to be out there sweating, breaking his damn back while the other nigga punching keys on the damn computer.
Everybody got their positions, okay? Play your part.
You out your mind.
Work smart, not hard.
Hey, you better keep that man building that house with some fresh, cold beverages. Man, nah, that ain't gonna work. He gonna come in the house, see dude ain't broke a sweat. He in there complaining about his piping while he in the AC. He gonna DDT his ass.
See, everybody gonna have their own wing. with their own man cave.
Hey, that much. I wish you the best. Yes, and all that. And that's them gonna do the erectile dysfunction motherfuckers he was talking about.
Oh damn. Damn.
That's gonna be what you was talking about earlier with the ED issues. You're gonna have to give them some of them herbs you be whipping up.
Gotta get you some maca root, dong quai. Get you some stuff that's gonna rev you up, okay? No, but this was you know what? This topic was definitely raw. Like I said, y'all know that I am very unorthodox when it comes to a lot of different things. And I see the big part of everything, you know, I guess you can just say that. So, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the callers calling in, giving their perspectives, because, you know, it was a total toss up. Some people for it, some people understanding of it, some people totally not going for it at all, you know. So, before we wrap it up, do we have any callers on the call in and give any last minute anything to us?
Don't give us anything.
If not, then we know that we will be chopping it up with you guys next week, every Thursday.
We gonna have to revisit this one too.
Part 2, possibly.
Yeah, maybe not next week, but we gonna come back, touch back on it.
Definitely. Maybe next week we can go on the subject of going half. We know that's a big topic.
Half on what?
Half on bills in a monogamous relationship. If the woman should pay the half, or she should save her money and spend his money coming next week, possibly.
Man, y'all both clowns.
On the Simple Chronicles, she gonna have you with a damn brother husband, and she gonna be spending all your doggone money while you out sweating building houses.
And she gonna be investing that money too. You gonna look up and be like, "Wow, okay, I see what you did. I see what you did." No, but this, like I said, this topic
Did you say
was
the
great.
Simpson Chronicles?
Yes, I did, brother.
I thought that's what you said, man. You never disappoint.
You know what? I've grown to just totally tune out Tariq when he gets to going on his rants.
Oh man.
All right. So this has been another wonderful episode of the Uncommon Sense Podcast. And
to everybody that tuned in, thanks for the support.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your input. Peace out.
Peace and love.
Peace, family. Talk to y'all later.